in 3, 2.
Welcome everyone to the doTERRA Social webinar. We're so happy to have you all here with us today. We'll give just a moment for a few people to hop on. I'm not seeing too many, but the numbers are going up. So we'll just give a moment for people to hop on. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm sure more people will be joining. And just as a reminder, this is being recorded, so you can go back and review anything we go over today, as well as if you're not able to stay on for the whole time for some reason, you will get a recording after. So by way of introduction, my name is Mackenzie Felstead, and I am over doTERRA Social, the leader content marketing specialist here at doTERRA. We also have Raquel, the VP of Customer Success at Promo Republic. Thanks for joining us today, Raquel.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And then we do have some support from Promo Republic. Kate and Zoe will be answering any questions in the Q&A. So please put any questions you have throughout the webinar in our Q&A chat. You won't be able to access the chat, just the question and answer section. So let's go ahead and get started. As a reminder, these webinars, the purpose behind them is to go over just the basics of doTERRA Social. We know there's a lot to understand, a lot to cover, especially for those of you who are new to social media or doTERRA Social in general. We know it can maybe seem a little overwhelming, and we want to really simplify things for you because this tool is really simple. So let's go ahead and dive in. We're just going to talk about the basics of social media in general. So what are your followers looking for? Followers are looking for ways to discover new brands and products on social media, right? So that's why doTERRA Social is a great tool to help you grow your business with doTERRA, to talk about the doTERRA products. So followers, like I said, are looking for new brands and products. They like to do their research a lot of time on social media. They like to hear why people are loving the product, what they're maybe not loving about the product. They like to understand the features and understand the reviews. It also helps people make buying decisions. Think of how many times you've seen a reel or seen someone talking on their stories about a product you've maybe been thinking about, and seeing or hearing their review about it makes you want to go and actually buy the product. I know that's happened to me probably too many times, sadly, but I do get a lot of my purchasing decisions made off of seeing a video or something on Instagram. And lastly, it's a place where people can go to get support, ask questions, and sometimes, yes, even maybe some complaints about the products. I'm sure you've talked to many people and have supported their questions that they have about doTERRA many times. So let's move on to some social media marketing tips or helps. We've talked about a lot of these things before. One is remember to tell your personal story. Tell people why you started using doTERRA, why you love the products, why they've made such an influence and benefit on your life. Also, grow exposure. A great way to meet new people is through social media. A lot of times there are audiences that you can't reach just by word of mouth that you can reach through social media. And through social media, you can build and maintain those relationships. I've heard several stories of people who met on social media and then later met in person, have been able to keep that relationship going because of social media. It's a really great way to build and maintain relationships. Next is educate on products. And we've talked about this before as well, but our main purpose behind every single post we make on doTERRA Social is to educate on the products. Obviously, we want people to understand how to use the products or they're not going to be interested. So doing your part to educate on the products is a big thing as well. So getting on your stories, maybe talking about and showing the product and how you're using it is a really big thing. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when it comes to reels and stuff like that. Next is stay top of mind for your customers. This means you need to be constantly posting. Don't overwhelm your audience, don't post 5 things every single day, but make sure you're, posting a few times a week, probably putting something on your stories every day or every other day to keep people on top of mind. If not, they might, possibly forget about what you've been talking about. So make sure you keep your campaigns, the products you're talking about up to date and post consistently. So to be successful on social media, it's important to be consistent, authentic, and creative. And I think this is happening a lot in social media already. Instagram is really going towards that authenticity over perfect content to try to attract Gen Z audiences. So a lot of people aren't using those filters and things like that. If you look at some old posts from Instagram, you can see those really like grainy filters that people used to use. That's not what people want anymore. They just want to see our real, authentic selves. Everyone wants to be open and gain that trust. So that's what you need to do. You need to gain that trust with your followers. So do that with being consistent, authentic, and creative. Let's jump into a few stats about social media in 2023. So we kind of have 3 things here that we're talking about. One is short form vertical videos, which I know is something that you feel like is maybe being screamed in your face a little bit, more video content, more video content. And we want to support you with that. And we have done that with the Reels and TikTok folder that we created. And I'm really excited to announce that we'll be adding more to that folder. Hopefully this week. We've been working on a lot more Reels because we know that's very important. And then number 2, social customer care leads to ROI and proactive audience engagement converts. So kind of talking about that first point with short form vertical videos, some interesting stats are smartphone orientation leads itself to vertical video. So it's no surprise that the overwhelming majority of mobile video consumption is 83% on video sites and 92% on all sites. And it's really important to note that it is in that vertical format. At the same time, short form video content has grown in popularity among consumers and marketers. It's quicker to produce and requires less time commitment from viewers, prompting 39% of video marketers to agree that short form videos generate the highest ROI, return on investment, and 47% to state that shorter videos are most likely to go viral. So it's really important to keep these videos short and quick, just quick snippets of your day, of how you're using doTERRA products, simply how you're using them in the morning. What's your morning routine? What's your skincare routine? How do you use an essential oil in your kitchen? What essential oils do you cook with? Just quick, tiny little videos are going to be the most successful. So businesses in your business needs to have a strategy in place for converting social media followers into paying customers. So that means you need to be proactive. You need to be reaching out to your audience, bringing them back to you and telling them why they need these products. So one thing I like to remind you all is when you get someone DMing you, when you get someone commenting on your posts, respond to them quickly. Respond to them within the next few hours so you're able to make that connection and build that relationship, especially when they're asking questions about the products. It's a great learning opportunity. We know that this can be uncomfortable sometimes. You don't want people to feel like you're pushing something on them, but it's just really great to first off just build that relationship with them, and from there you can talk more about the doTERRA products and kind of gauge their interest. So the few that do push themselves to do this and reach out to their audiences are going to see huge rewards. So all businesses should be doing 3 things: create content to attract the right potential customers, 2, create hand raiser type content to identify specific people in your audience who show even just a little bit of interest or are just a little bit interested in what you're posting about and what you're talking about, and talk to them how it solves the problem that they may be having. How is this product going to benefit your life and solve an issue you may be experiencing? Talk to them about that. Number 3, reach out to those people and start a helpful, meaningful conversation. I think that's really important, is to make the conversation meaningful and emphasize how it's going to be helpful for them. And isn't it amazing we can do this all on social media? And then number 4, hopefully you can lead them to wanting to purchase and become a part of our doTERRA family. So now that we've gone over some of these stats and things we need to know about for social media in 2023, we're going to talk about how doTERRA Social can help you. And we're going to move into an overview of doTERRA Social and the basics and the features that it has to offer. So I'm going to turn it over to Raquel.
Thank you so much, Mackenzie. That was a really great overview of the key trends and, the why you should be on social. And doTERRA Social is here to, as it says, help you grow your business. We are a social media marketing platform that really gives you all of the tools to be successful in one fell swoop. You have monthly updated content on a regular basis for the US, European markets, as well as Canada and a few others coming, like Australia and New Zealand, which is in the platform. You can schedule it on your own, or as you've seen by Mackenzie's curation within the US, you also have suggested posts available to you. So making it really easy and effortless to do. And then we have analytics built in and a mobile app on the go for both Android and iOS. So how does this help you grow your business? Well, the short answer is that it saves you time so you can get back to doing what you love, which is growing your business, sitting knee to knee and having these amazing in-person experiences. But just as Mackenzie said today, that that buck doesn't stop just in person. The relationship continues online. Your followers want to learn from you what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how you're growing with doTERRA. So we do have, as you can see, these 4 pillars that we just discussed. Content, it's easy to find a template. You get new content on a monthly basis, and it's not just a few templates. The US marketing team is providing you with a minimum of, I think, 60 templates a month, plus topical events templates as well. You can schedule this. You can use autopilot to drive this further. And what's really great as well is if you want to create your own content and you don't want to focus on the content that's in the platform, you can, of course, create your own content. You can upload your own directly from your phone. So you're always highlighting the top posts that you're loving to show from your camera roll out there. And analytics. So this is an often last step piece of social media, but it's really important because analytics actually give you a lot of valuable information that you can train and change your social media plan for. So definitely recommend keeping an eye on that. So with that said, what we'll do now is dive into the platform so you can get a live overview. And we'll be doing everything from discussing how to log in all the way through the content, and then closing on the analytics piece as it says here. So first, I would like to highlight where the platform lives. This is social.doterra.com. The platform lives and breathes here. You will save this, bookmark it. You will come here time and time again. So we absolutely recommend saving that. The next step is to log in with your doTERRA ID. So all you do is click login with doTERRA login, and then you have your full form to fill out with your doTERRA ID, and then you're logged in. If you've never tried doTERRA for the first time, your first login actually triggers a free 2-week trial where you're able to test out the platform, see amazing content, and choose a plan that's right for you. So we'll come into that. As I am not a wellness advocate, I will be logging in my demo account and we'll be going through the motions together. So after you've logged in, the first step is to connect your social media pages to the platform. As you can see in my test account, I already have 2 pages connected. But we do support all of the social media platforms that you see here. And if you're on this webinar, you're actually getting a sneak peek of one of our newest social platforms, which is at the bottom here. We're anticipating release to Wellness Advocates over the next week or 2. So within the month of May, we do see that coming into doTERRA Social. So that is a very exclusive sneak peek of what we have coming. Other than that, adding the social platforms is relatively easy. You want to make sure that you're logged into the browser when you select each platform. Please note that we support Facebook pages and groups only. So these are official business pages. And yes, we do have Instagram personal, but in order to experience the reels posting, the stories posting, and the just direct posting and carousel without any secondary steps, you're able to highlight that by our Instagram business functionality. And it is actually really easy to convert your page from an Instagram business page, from an Instagram personal page to a business page. So we recommend you contact our support team. In the event you need to highlight this or ask some questions. So our support team on that topic is available right here. When you select the doTERRA O, you can send us a message directly, just as you have some amazing support associates on today's call. You can contact them here, or you can look up any questions that you have via chat as well. So you're never alone when it comes to that. And I'm sure you've seen our support associates in the Facebook group as well, which we're happy to do. So now moving on to the calendar itself, you'll see that I actually have content in my calendar already. So this circles back to that suggested content that you will receive on a monthly basis from the head office. This is curated around the monthly promotions or any events that you have. So it's really up to you whether or you want to incorporate this into or not. Again, this is just suggested. You do not have to use it all. You can, if something is day specific, like a BOGO or a sale like that, of course you'd want to keep it on that day. But essentially you can curate your own calendar by moving these around, and you can make sure that you're seeing exactly what you want to see in any matter of orders. So the way that you will approve this content is simply by selecting approve. And then it goes from something that is suggested to something that is in your calendar. As you can see, that orange footer has gone away. If you do not do anything, so if you do not approve any content, this will never go to your calendar. This will always be as a suggested post. So you don't have to worry if you don't want to use it. That's not a problem. What you're able to do also is delete it. So you can click on here, click more, and then delete. And then you're able to see this here, and it will delete the post from the calendar. So you can really be in charge with what you have here. What I will do is go into next week to give us a blank slate of content. Or blank slate of the calendar, so we can see a few things within the library itself. The first are these time slots, as you can see here. So as we discussed on the previous slide, we have a tiny bit of AI built into the platform for you to find the best posting time. You can choose to use this or not. If you don't want to highlight this, it's not a problem. You can turn this off completely, and you have a full calendar ready to go for your posting. Otherwise, you can come in here into the time slot settings, and you're able to adjust the content plan. You can rename the categories, you can delete and make the number of posts that you'd like on a better cadence. And this is all about personalizing it. So if you want a recipe one day, a post that you do on the other, you can definitely change this based on what you're doing and your best practice. So I will come to in a moment the benefit of actually using the time slots when we go through the posting methodology. Then within the calendar, you'll also see upcoming events. This is based on the US calendar, but there are global events in here as well. This highlights national registered days, dates in pop culture history, sports history, political history, etc. This is all here as a jumping off point and an idea. So you'll really never run out of ideas. I mean, Mackenzie will go over the content library in a moment, so you'll really see that there's thousands of pieces of templates for you to choose from. But here's if you want to just, post something and relate it back to either your personal experience or doTERRA. So you always have a reason to post. And some of these are really fun holidays in here as well. So definitely take a look what you have here and go on your posting journey. The last thing that I will highlight about the calendar is in regards to how far in the future you can create content. You can schedule or toggle between this weekly and monthly view, as well as you can schedule as far into the future as you'd want. We have had some cases where we've had some leaders schedule several months out, just the generic evergreen content. So this is content that's not monthly, it's just, you know, a how-to, an evergreen recipe, or something informational and educational. And then what they do on the first of every month, they pepper in the monthly content through the suggested post. So it's really utilizing the best of both worlds here. So then moving on to content. So I would love to invite Mackenzie in to discuss the content, but essentially this is a repository of content that we're building out, as well as the doTERRA team build out, to make sure that each market has a really robust monthly calendar. So Mackenzie, I'll pass the mic back to you.
Great. Thanks, Raquel. This has been an awesome overview so far. And I know there's a lot of information. So if we're going through something a little too quickly, just know you can come back and watch this video again. So we've done this before, kind of on these webinars as a content overview. And I think this is a really important part because there's a lot more available to you than just what's on the suggested or what's on the content calendar that's suggested to you. And like Raquel said, you can utilize that or you don't have to at all. You can create things from scratch in the editor, which I know we'll go into more detail, or you can simply make some small edits with the content that is created. And that is something I kind of want to start out by talking about. Is I've been getting some requests and maybe even a little bit of some complaints of, hey, I'm seeing my friends post the exact same posts that are also using doTERRA Social. I want it to be different from their posts. So unfortunately, we are producing as much content as we can right now. So we're not able to push out any more monthly content than we are. It's just me creating this content for the US. It's not like we have a big team that is doing this. However, I do want to get you the most content possible. So in addition to the 30 posts and the 30 stories that we create every month, there are several other posts that I'm just randomly adding throughout the month. As you can see, I've just added a bunch of new convention content. So if you are seeing your friends maybe posting something that's similar, I would really encourage you to dive into some of the folders and maybe find something that everyone isn't posting about because it's not suggested on the calendar. Or number two, jump into the editor and make some small edits. And again, like I said, we'll talk about that more later, but there all are small changes that you can make to the content that'll make it more fit for you, more your brand, by simply adding a logo or changing the color or something like that. So I just kind of wanted to start out with that because we do want to give you the most content possible, and we are trying to do that. So I apologize if it feels like you're seeing posts from other people, but I want to do my absolute best. So I want to let you know that there are options, and these folders are filled with a lot of different pieces of content. So kind of how we have the folders organized for the US is the most relevant campaigns or products that we're talking about. So there at the top is the Q2 campaign, Simply doTERRA. So if you click in there, Raquel, you'll see that we have products that are specific to the Simply doTERRA campaign. And some of these are also mixed in with the monthly content, I will say that. And so kind of look in both folders to really be looking for what content you need for the Q2 campaign. Next, we have Mother's Day. That is obviously coming up, and we've had a lot of these posts suggested on the content calendar. Next is Father's Day. We have a bunch of content there. Some of them have been on suggested on the content calendar, and some of them haven't. So that's why I'm saying come take a look at these, because sometimes there's more content that isn't being suggested to you. Next, we have the Rose Duet to celebrate the 15-year anniversary of doTERRA. So we have a few posts there. And then the Reclaim Your Health. So if you are going to a Reclaim Your Health event, utilize these posts. They're going to be really awesome and beneficial to you if you're trying to encourage people to come to an event with you. So I haven't suggested any of these on the content calendar. So this is an example of some posts you might not be seeing as much of. So go ahead and utilize these if you're going to those events. Next, we have Refer a Friend, which I know everyone is really excited about. So if you're trying to explain Refer a Friend to someone, these graphics are very helpful. And then what I'm really excited about is the convention folder. So we've started adding a lot of information about convention, about tickets, which go on sale on the 16th. We've had a few of these posts suggested on your content calendar, but again, some of these haven't been. We just uploaded this reel that's at the very top on the left. That is a reel that talks about convention that you can post about. All you need to do is add a little caption to it. And then from there, we just have a lot more content as it continues down. We still have things about the Pursuit 2022 report. And then Raquel, do you want to click on the monthly templates folder and we can talk about that one? Awesome. So here's where all the monthly templates are. And all of these posts are always going to be suggested on your content calendar. So you can go in, like Raquel said, change the dates that we've suggested them for, or I mean, you can even utilize these later after the promotions are over and maybe just make a few edits to the wording or the colors or things like that. Maybe take the 10% off. Everything in here is editable to you. And that's really important because we want to be able to allow you to make it your own. Below the monthly templates folder is the Reels and TikToks folder. So let's jump into that one for a moment. We were talking about short form videos, and I noticed there were a few questions on what is a short form video? Well, that typically is, a video that's about 60 seconds or less. And I believe all of these are. So they're just quick educational videos that are engaging and fun and get people hopefully asking some questions about products. Like I said, we've been working really hard to try to create some more reels for you. We know that this is very important and many of you have been asking for them. So I will be uploading some more, I'm hoping this week, just waiting for some approvals to get those up. One thing I will add and really encourage all of you to do is make reels of yourself. Everyone wants to see your face on your stories, on your reels. Some of these have models in them, and that's totally fine. You can use them if you don't feel like you're at a point where you're confident having yourself in a video. But I would encourage you, even if it's not a reel, to at least get on your stories and maybe show yourself using a product. It's really simple to just do that on your stories if you're not feeling up for the challenge of creating a video. However, like I said, we will continue adding more videos here so those can be of benefit to you. Below the Reels and TikToks folder is just a bunch of other content. As you can see, we have GIFs, we have a campaigns folder, we have a story covers folder. The story covers are really fun. If you get on Instagram and you go to someone's profile, you can see that they have those little story bubbles saved on their profile. That means they've saved stories that they want you to be able to go back and look at rather than just letting them expire after the 24 hours. So this is a great way to just add some fun branding to your story. So you can use these story covers on your Instagram profiles. So that's kind of a basic overview of the content. Hopefully that helps you understand that there's a lot of options out there. There's more than just the suggested posts and more than just those top folders that are really important. There's a lot of other ones below this if you're wanting to really dive into something different than maybe what's on the suggested post. So I'll turn it back over to you, Raquel, but that's an overview of the content.
Thank you so much, Mackenzie. I really appreciate that in-depth overview. And I know everyone watching today's webinar did, because as you've said, there's so much here to utilize. And what we'll do now is actually walk through the options that you can do when it comes to this content. So for the purposes of today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the May 2023 post folder, and I am going to find this template. So I'm going to click this. What you can do is you can suggest or schedule this on your own. So you'll be able to choose the pages that you'd like to schedule to. I'm just going to do one of mine for now, and then schedule it for a specific date and time of my choosing. So this will be, tomorrow at 1:30, and I'm going to schedule this. So now I can see that it does have fertility, and I can continue this. In the calendar, now you'll see this directly here. I have scheduled this as a suggested post for myself for the demo, but obviously keep an eye on what is suggested from the head office and what you would like to pepper in on your own. Also, what is great is before something goes live, you still have the option to edit this. So you will have the option on editing this as well. So every template that you see in that monthly section is 100% editable. So you can see, I can change the story. I can change like the name. Let's say if I have another template or idea here where I want to drag in a different single oil that I want to make sure that I'm highlighting because it's my absolute favorite. You can see how I can just kind of with a few clicks of my mouse, cover this up, change it, make sure it's the right portion sizes, covering up every aspect, change the name here, and then also the coloring as well. You can create custom colors and make sure that you're finding that right hybrid as you go through. So really easy to come and change or, change any aspects from these elements here to the background. So you're going from a templatized piece to something else within a few clicks. So again, you can customize something, you can schedule it as is, you can take something from a post to a story or from a story back to a post if you'd like to change it. And again, all you're having to do in these instances is drag and drop the different elements of the photo by, a few changes here. So definitely really easy to go from changing something that you loved to a different aesthetic overall. So I'm going to just proceed with this post as is. So I'm just going to X out of this. And now we have this here as my scheduled post. And I can move on. So moving back into the library to find another example of that. You can also use the filtering here. So just as I did, I found that template by going into the library, then going into monthly templates and the posts. And we also have stories here as Mackenzie's highlighted, some of which are editable as well. But if I'm on all files and then I also filter down by template and then I choose country, so only United States and select. Now you can see that this is only US content, number one. Number two, this is only editable content as well. So this is in the event you're in a mood to kind of just edit some posts and add your personal touch to a lot of the content. You can see by filtering by template what is 100% editable, everything from the backgrounds of the layer to the foreground and the text as well. So you can absolutely do this here. You can also create your very own content from scratch, and I will show you how to do that in the library by clicking through. But just while we're on this filtering methodology to walk you through the other image asset types, you have an image. So when you have an image, this is non-editable. So these are usually templates that are fully sealed, so you can't change the layers or background images that you can use and create your own templates from as well. So you can see that here. The next, you have articles. So these are any links to articles that the head office has put in here as well. Then you also have videos and GIFs. So the videos and GIFs aren't editable, but as Mackenzie said, you can schedule these directly on the social platforms. So this is a quick tip in the event you just want to come in here and find a specific type of content. But once again, we want to thank Mackenzie for the overview. So now moving on to the editor, and we will spend some time here because there's quite a bit to unlock as we go through the different options. The first thing you'll notice is you're left with a blank slate when you come in. And the first thing I would recommend doing is choosing what you'd like to create. You'll see that we do have presets here for the different posting types and templates. So you can choose a story, and now I'm creating something from scratch, or you can start from the square post like we did before and create something for the grid. Now moving on to the left-hand side. So we're going to go through each one of these menu bar items as we go through this. So the first is backgrounds. So this is the only part of the platform that's not fully doTERRA branded, because this is an aggregate of several photo stocks for you to choose from. This means that instead of going to Google and pulling an image from there and using it as your background, which you technically don't have a license or a right to do. These backgrounds are fully licensed for your use. So if I just wanted to type in lemon, because I wanted to create a post about my favorite oil, which is lemon, you can see there's so many great backgrounds on this, and you're able to use this as an inspiration point when creating an amazing piece of content for your social. So I'm going to say that this one is speaking to me right now, and I'm able to go through. You can highlight the saturation, you can change any element that you want on here, and you can also blur out. So as you're going through, you will also notice that this toolbar does follow you in the event you want to create layers, change aspects of the colors, and so on. The next is object. And as Mackenzie said, this is here on a seasonal basis as well. You have May stickers at the top. So if we wanted to highlight, citronella, really easy to drag in and drop in. And same with the diffuser and rose and everything that Mackenzie just highlighted. Same with your top events. If you're creating a becoming story on your own, when tickets go on sale, all you have to do is drag and drop this in. And same for Mother's Day. You have really great design elements that her team spends a lot of time on, and really cute things to create touching stories from here. So definitely pay attention to these. But what we're going to do right now is go through here, find lemon, our favorite oil, since we're creating a lemon post. And now you can see that we do have lemon at the top here. Now we can also add different call to actions here as well. We can add the doTERRA logo that you want. You can add the branding logos for lemon as well, and encourage people to swipe up as they're going through. So definitely don't shy away from this. In fact, I would go through the folders, see what you love, and you can see everything here by adding different fun elements like these arrows for shopping, all here for you to choose from. So not only do you have these doTERRA elements, as you see here, which are updated seasonally, but we also have non-branded assets. So this is helpful, again, if you want to add buttons to this, like learn more, shop now, etc., which you can change the colors of as you're going through as well to whatever you'd like. But also a fun tip is if you want to create a generic single color background, what we actually recommend is dragging in a square or rectangle, dragging it to shape, and now we have a solid color backgrounds that we're able to go through this emotion with when creating something. So next I want to highlight text. So of course you can add any type of text of your choosing to the platform, and you similarly, when you're creating the elements, you have some options here. So you can choose your font that you love, you can choose colors of this, you can choose the sizing, the spacing, the line height, etc. So as you're going through, you can always make sure that it is in line with your branding overall. The next thing is really helpful if you've done the Social Media Academy or been on any of our past webinars. We have spoken about personal branding. So if you have your favorite fonts or your favorite colors that you use time and time again as your theme on social, you can create a style here and save it. And what that does, it adds automatically that palette to the top of the color menu, as well as the font menu, so that it's always on top. And instead of kind of guessing a hex code like we did earlier, you just select exactly what you're looking for and you're off to the races. So the last thing that I do want to highlight here is in regards to uploads. You have the ability to upload absolutely anything that you want. And as Mackenzie said, we encourage you to do so because we want you and what you're doing and how you're utilizing the platform to be at the forefront of your doTERRA social journey. So as you can see, I have a YouTube logo here. So let's say I want to direct people on this story to my YouTube, I can drag that in. Or if I've uploaded these stories, and we can pretend that these are all different images, you can drag and drop it in here. So all you have to do is select upload and you're good to go. So now that I've created my masterpiece image, and now that you have an overview of the graphics editor, We're going to click use, and now we're in the options as well, just as we had before. So we already saw how you're able to schedule something for a future, choose whether it repeats or not. Now I'm going to come full circle back to the add to queue button. So you can see how this is utilized as well. So the first, we have publish now. So when you select that, that publishes at this exact moment right now. Again, you're going to go through the same steps, select your social media, type your caption. If you have a caption, stories, as you know, you don't need one, and you can add emojis and so on. And then when you add to queue, you have the ability to add to the next available time slot. So when I do that and view in the calendar, you can see this was my next available time slot, and the time slot after that is here. And then we have the overall time slot here. So if I just wanted to continue in that motion, all I have to do is select use, click this, and now add to queue. And I can go back, create an image or go into the library again and use and add to queue after I select my page. So now after I've clicked add to queue a few times, it will always add to that next available time slot. So as I mentioned, that's bringing it full circle, and you can see the previous one here. So it's really helpful if you want to save time and just crank through a lot of content in a short amount of time. Again, of course, you want to keep an eye on the suggested content in the event you'd like to utilize that. So you don't have any doubles up like we have here. And again, nothing will hit your calendars until you physically click approve. So since I've scheduled this on my own, I can ignore this and this will not post. So that is an overview on how to utilize the platform, connect your pages, dive into the content, and create your own. As mentioned, the last step that we do have is analytics. You have two options here. You can get your overall social media report, or you can get your statistics. And statistics are a post-by-post breakdown of what is in the platform. So here we can click on reporting, and you'll see I'm actually in my demo account. So I do have zeros across the board, but what I will do is go under the hood and show you our Promo Republic data for your use. So you can see what it's like to have some content in here. So the top of the reporting highlights your social key performance indicators like follower growth, engagement, and impressions. And if you're ever wondering what something is, you have the ability to select and hover over this here, where you will see the definition of this. And we have our tooltips for absolutely everything. So as you're trying to see your new organic fans or any fans that you've lost, you can see that. And as you scroll down as well. What is also really cool is that so this is really valuable if you're wanting to see what age range you should be kind of catering to in your tone and verbiage, as well as gender demographic and language demographic that you didn't even know that you needed as well. So that is all here in the audience overview. We also break down content overview. So this is the number of posts published, the best times to publish, and so on. So the more that you use the content, the better the platform learns, and we provide you with better data as well. So again, to bring it full circle, we are helping you find creative content templates from the head office, get new content on this monthly basis, create your own, scheduling as far into the future as you want, and as simplistic as we can make it, and then getting the data overall to see how your content is performing. So the last thing that I will have here is our resources. So feel free to screenshot this page because this is all of the resources at your fingertips. Again, where this lives is social.doterra.com. We have our support email, which as you saw in the platform, we do have a chat, but in the event you'd like to email us, that will be via doterra@promorepublic.com. Our landing page, which has historic webinars, is get.promorepublic.com/doTERRA Social. And we will be releasing an update to this very shortly. That will be in line with absolutely everything we covered today. So stay tuned, and we will publish in the Facebook group when we do so. So if you search doTERRA Social on Facebook, you will be kept up to date with everything that's happening. And not only that, our support team is there as well. So you will see familiar faces from today's webinar as well. So with that, I would love to invite Mackenzie back in to close us out. I'm sorry, Mackenzie, I don't think we can quite hear you. It seems like there may be some audio issues. Mackenzie, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Raquel, this has been a great overview. And like we've said, you can go back and watch this recording. You will get an email with that recording. We hope this has been helpful. We hope it breaks things down a little bit for you so it doesn't seem so overwhelming. Again, thanks everyone for joining, and we will see you next time.